and Jason, as you gather and collate these stories and try to tell this overwhelmingly rich story, what threads or thematic elements do you see sort of strongly run through all of them that will be told in the film?
I'll follow back.
Sure. You know, one of the ones that we talked about yesterday, specifically with Todd, we actually filmed the major chunk of his interview at the public library yesterday. By the way, good to see you again. One of the things that has come up a great deal in this film and in our conversations of translating this is that this is not the story of victims. People have been victimized, but they are not victims. And what's so important for us to convey in this story is that as they have faced obstacles, they have not just accepted the obstacles. This story is about the Black freedom struggle. I would argue that you could say it's about the Black freedom fight. Our people have fight in us. We have fight in us. And so there has been, I would even use the term social innovation as a tool. It's a very popular term that's popping now, but social innovation has been there since forever, since society has existed. As obstacles have been faced, what have we done as a community to understand the obstacle, look for the resources to overcome the obstacle? If the resources couldn't be there, how do we outwit the obstacle? Or how do we raise enough hell to get that obstacle to feel uncomfortable enough to change? So that's been a through theme. Another through theme, I would argue, is that there is a certain weight of existence that Black people live under on a daily basis. Understanding that this complex system of managerial racism, systemic racism, industrial racism, it can come at you from anywhere. It affects the way you make decisions on a daily basis. It affects the way you move through a city at any given moment. It's ever present. And what does that do to a person as they navigate their daily lives? What does that also do to people when they think about a future and dare to dream about a future? How much of that is, even though we dream big, how much of that is stifled? Could we be dreaming bigger if not for this burden that we carry on a daily basis? So that's another theme. Does that, whisper in the back of your ear as fear as you're living your daily life? And so what's crucial is, how do we overcome this so that we reach our entire potential? We're not living with this burden, not living with this fear. We're not living with this idea that there are absolute limitations to what we can accomplish. So that's another through line here. The other piece of it is this city cares. This city actually really cares and wants a change to happen and will never stop until it does. That's another thing. I mean, there's so many themes that, I've tossed out there. It's like, no, this is the main vein of the story. We got to go with this. And then something else comes up and I scrap that. And there's so many themes that we could play with and build off of. It's an embarrassment of riches. And as we assemble something and sit with it and soak in it, and as we look at it again, there's another kernel of something. So I could go down a list of things, but I'd say those are the three top ones that stick out in my mind that really keep me excited about this story.